This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
Good morning and happy Saturday morning to Yankee fans across the fruited plain. Yankee fans watching this on the Great Yankee site, start spreading the news. And Yankee fans watching this on any of the many outlets with the Northeast Streaming Sports Network. I love coming to talk to you about the Yankees every Saturday morning on the Dr. Sem Yankees Show. I also like talking about the Yankees with you, of course, on the Monday night Start Spreading the News show with my friend and colleague, Dr. E.J. Fagan. So, if you haven't visited Start Spreading the News yet, you really should. You should check us out on a daily basis. We put out articles, original content every single day at 6 a.m., 10 a.m., and 2 p.m. We're doing that throughout the off season, and we've been publishing original content every single day since 2017. We are reliable and we're great. And we're read by more people than you can imagine, including many of the big people in the sports industry business. We see the points that we make regurgitated or restated in newspapers, online sites. We hear it in the news, on podcasts, and on sports radio. Now, maybe the other people just have the same conclusions as we do, but we make these points and then we hear about them later on other venues, which says either people are reading us and saying they do a great job, or other people just agree with the bigger points that we're making. Either way, it says that we're producing excellent content that's well worth your time. As you know, I'm an author. I go around, I talk a lot at venues, lots of local libraries and such. And so I get to hear firsthand from fans of Start Spreading the News, fans of my books, and bigger fans of the Yankees. And I'm hearing the same concerns time after time after time. I'm hearing a fan base, loyal fans. This isn't a bunch of 20-something people. I'm talking about people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, even 70s and 80s. I was at a retirement community a couple weeks ago, and I'm hearing the same kinds of concerns from Yankee fans, people who have been loyal Yankee fans for a long time, for decades, saying the team is adrift, they don't know what they're doing. But bigger, and I wrote about this on Start Spreading the News the other day, that it doesn't seem like they care. And that's a problem. People don't necessarily believe the talking points that the Yankees are giving when they make deals, when they don't make deals, when they make mistakes, when they have press conferences. People aren't believing them. They don't believe they are sincere. And their credibility is taking a huge hit at the same time that it seems like they don't care. This isn't me saying this. I mean, I'm saying it, but this is what people are telling me. I was at a library just last night. I'm recording this on Thursday. I have a very busy weekend ahead of me, so I'm a couple of days ahead of the show you're watching right now on Saturday morning. But I was there to talk about my Yankees book. Well, one of my two Yankees books, but my Yankees book, The Least Among Them, the story of the 29 Yankees who've appeared in just one game in their entire career, and it was as a Yankee. I've done this book talk many, many, many times. And as I started, One of the people at the library raised his hand and he said, I hope that you're going to talk about how terrible the Yankees are. I'm a lifetime fan. It's embarrassing how bad they are. And a woman had to be in her 60s, longtime fan. And the way you can tell somebody's a longtime fan is, number one, they come out to hear about a book about obscure Yankees. But number two, when I talk about obscure Yankees and moments in Yankees history, and when I say things like Allie Reynolds, Gil McDougall, Hank Bauer, they nod their head and they know who these players are. You know, these are people who've been involved in rooting for and following and reading about the Yankees for a long, long time. And the woman had to be in her 60s, maybe her 70s, said, I agree. It's a disaster. This team is a disaster. Now, I didn't come out last night to talk about the current Yankees. I leave time at the end of programs so we can talk about whatever the people want to talk about related to baseball, writing, or whatever. But they started the conversation before my presentation even began by complaining about the Yankees. And again, hearing those same concerns. You can't believe them. They don't care. They don't know what they're doing. They've ruined a franchise. Again, that's not me saying it. And they weren't getting those ideas from Start Spreading the News, though I wish they did. I wish they were loyal readers. They didn't know about Start Spreading the News when the program began. I gave them my card. I said, you might want to check out my blog. You might want to read my website. I think you'll like it. But these were people who are frustrated, lifetime, longtime Yankees fans who are frustrated. Just making a note here of a point I want to make. But before we get into all that, hey, as we begin every show, let's make today a great day. How do you do that? Well, usually by giving kindness, by sharing love, by being generous. But the simplest way, if those things seem much too difficult and challenging, the simplest way is to just look for the good. Find the good. And sometimes the good might be the simplest of things, like, you know what, I'm not hungry, or I slept well, or I have a family member or a friend or a neighbor who cares about me, or I care about a family member or a friend or a neighbor. Look for the good, and you'll have a great day. We can all spend time looking at all the bad things in life. And unfortunately, on a Yankees site and on a Yankees podcast and all that, we need things to talk about. And my goodness, you know what I would love to talk about? And you know what I would love to write about every single day for the rest of my life? I would love to talk about how great the Yankees are. I'd love to talk about, well, what a year it was for the Yankees. Jason Dominguez, Aaron Judge, and Anthony Volpe, once again, for the 9th year in a row, were 1, 2, 3 in the MVP voting. The 3 greatest players in baseball, everybody agrees, of course, are Volpe and Dominguez and Aaron Judge. And of course, how much fun was last season? The 2028 season was the 3rd consecutive year the Yankees won the World Series. Oh my goodness. Their manager, Aaron Boone, he is always innings. Seems like games ahead of the other teams. The Yankees take the extra base. They make the right plays on defense. They hustle. They're a classy organization. It's just great. I love watching the Yankees win the World Series every year. I love watching them go out and get the best players. I love watching them play hard and play smart and set the highest standard. And I love how they keep doing fun activities at the stadium, welcoming in the fans and not charging them an arm and a leg for everything. I love that the Yankees instituted free hot dog night each Wednesday night at the stadium. Everybody gets a coupon for one free hot dog. I think that's awesome. But they don't do any of that, of course, and none of that's true. So we have to talk about what is real. And what is real is the fact that the Yankees just aren't very good. And there is growing frustration, growing resentment, growing anger at the franchise. Now, this is what I just wrote down a moment ago. I want to unpack a big thought here. And this is a big thought. Almost every single Yankees fan, at least the ones who are at least 25 or older, but even the ones younger than that, when they become fans of the Yankees franchise, it is in part because the Yankees market their team as the greatest team in the history of the sport. The Yankees define themselves by their 27 world championships. That's what they do. They define it as a basic element, as a core component of who they are as a franchise. And this is how they get the fans. This is what everybody does. This is how every organization works that wants customers or whatever. They want you to buy in and become part of that. So if you're a Yankee fan, you're a winner. You're part of a winning tradition. The Yankees and you. I mean, whether it's said so blatantly, that's the understood idea behind it all. Come root for the Yankees because we are the winners. This is what they sold us on. This is what they continue to sell us on. Yankeeography. The Yankees by the decades. The greatest Yankee world championships. And I've mentioned this. Go to any Yankees gift shop. You can buy jackets, t-shirts, hats, and all of that with all the World Series listed on them in patches or pins or any other way. Other teams don't market that. This is what the Yankees did to get us all to buy in. That was part of when we all became fans. We became fans because they're the Yankees and they're the greatest team. And the mission always used to be winning World Series, not even just reaching the World Series. The mission used to be winning World Series. That was always the goal. But over the last couple decades, the Yankees have taken that goal and moved it back. Have you noticed? It's been subtle. Used to be winning World Series. Then it became, well, we're a 100-win team who makes the playoffs all the time. Anything can happen in the playoffs. And then this year, it was, yeah, we're disappointed we didn't make the playoffs, but you know what? No team in the history of baseball has ever had a 500 record for as many consecutive years as us. Be satisfied, Yankees fans. Other teams don't have our record of success. What's success? This century, what's success? They won the World Series in 2000. They won the World Series in 2009. When else have they won a World Series? This is now 2023. Next year's the 2024 season. It's been a long time. And as an organization, if you sell somebody on something, and you bring in untold billions of dollars. The Yankees, I think, are worth at least $7 billion, according to Forbes, based upon a supposition and an idea that we are the greatest and we will always be the greatest. And our core mission is to win the World Series. That's what we're about. You can't then get mad at the fans. You can't then get frustrated at the fans and say you expect too much out of us. That's, you're setting a standard that's much too high. It's much too lofty. We can't possibly win the World Series every year. It's unreasonable for you to expect that of us. Think about that. Our mission is to win the World Series every year. Join our fandom. Yes! No one has won more World Series than us. Join our fandom. Yes! We will always be the greatest team. You want to be part of this? Yes! If there's a great player, we want him on the Yankees. Yes! And all these fans come. And all these fans pay untold amounts of money, equaling billions and billions of dollars. And then you say, what do you mean, win the World Series every year? What are you, crazy? We're not going to win the World Series every year. No, we just want to be competitive. You want us to go out and get Bryce Harper? He's expensive. Yeah, but you told us you were always going to get the best play. I told you we're going to get the best players. There's a luxury tax. What are you, crazy? Yeah, but Bryce Harper's great. You ought to get, oh, come on. I'm not going to get Bryce Harper. A couple years before that, Justin Verlander's available. Oh, he's much too expensive. You don't want Justin Verlander. Why would you want him? See, it changed. It changed. They sold us on a product. They had us buy in. They got to our hearts. We're the Yankees. We're the team that wins. Follow us. And then over the last many years, especially the last 5 or 6, it's been, well, be satisfied we make the playoffs. No, we're not the team that's always going to get the big-time players. No, we don't have to do that. There is a luxury tax. There's a penalty if you pay too much money to your players. It costs money. We don't want to do that. We're only the richest franchise in the sport by billions over the next team. Don't be so focused on your own petty needs to see a winner that you expect us to put a winning team on the field every single year. And in fact, we do. We were over 500. That's a winning team. You should be satisfied. I mean, that's sort of the message we're getting, right? Like, oh, you dirty, stinky, rotten Yankee fans expect us to win all the time. That's unreasonable. This is how they built their fan base. This is what they built it on. They can't then come back and say, the fans, they're unreasonable. It's just not right. Think about it. They created this. This is the product they sold us. And okay, you can say, yeah, Paul Semendinger, that guy, all he wants is the Yankees to win. Okay. You can say that. That's fine. But I'm telling you, it's not just me. I show up to a library and longtime Yankee fans start telling me how upset and angry they are. And I keep hearing the same things. I'm not buying stuff anymore. I'm not going to games anymore. If this is the product they put out there, I'm not going. I'm not paying for that. No, I'll still like them, but I'm not watching as much. And they also said one of the things that I've said a million times here and on Start Spreading the News, I don't even know where to watch them anymore. The woman said, I buy the Yes Network so I can watch the Yankees. And then they're on Apple and Peacock and FS1. And this is what they're doing. They're driving their fans away. We know you've supported us forever, and you bought into an idea that we were always going to do our best to be the best. But don't listen to that anymore. We're not trying to be the best anymore, and we're going to make it harder for you to root for the team. And then the fans get angry, and they're walking away. And you might not see it in the stadium yet. But I think anybody my age or older remembers the early 70s, the late 70s, or the mid 80s and the early 90s when the stadium wasn't always packed. I mean, go back and look at some of Don Mattingly's great home runs. Look at the videos. He's hitting them into a very empty-ish right field. Those days can come back. Here's the thing about Yankee Stadium. It's a drag to get to. Especially if you're a New Jersey fan, it's a drag to get to. From New Jersey, there is no public transportation to Yankee Stadium. Zero. None. Oh, sure, you can take a train to Penn Station or whatever, transfer down at the Lautenberg thing in Secaucus, take another train into the city, take another train, go up to the Bronx. I mean, that is public transportation, but that's not convenient. So then what do? You have to sit in traffic and take the bridge, and then you go park somewhere. Parking around Yankee Stadium in one of the lots is like $50. The bridge is what, $15, something like that? So you're already out $65. You haven't even bought your ticket or got in the stadium yet. It's a commitment to go to a Yankee game. And lots of people are saying, you know what? Why would I do that? They don't care about winning. They don't care about me as a fan. They changed the goalposts. They used to say it's about winning World Series. That's why I became a fan, because I want to be a fan of a team that wants to win World Series. And now they're saying, well, it's really not about that. They start complaining that the Florida teams don't spend all their luxury tax money. How dare they? I think they both made the playoffs this year, though. The Yankees didn't. Just a thought. The Yankees created this. And it's real frustration. And it's real anger. And people are upset. I have a great article. It may have run yesterday, Friday, and it might run this weekend. When I start spreading the news, on most days, one of our writers sends me an article that gets published at 6 a.m. The 6 a.m. article is usually from one of our many, many writers. The 10 o'clock article is sometimes written by one of our many, many writers. And the 2 o'clock article is usually something that I've put up on the site. Me or my son, Ethan, who obviously runs the site with me. So as I plan out all of these different days, I'm usually a day in advance on the site. I don't like to go into the next day not knowing what's going to be there. Before I go to sleep at night, I like to know that the 6 a.m. article, the 10 a.m. article, and the 2 p.m. article are already in the tank, scheduled, and ready to go. I'm always a day ahead. But then things happen, and people send me extra articles. Sometimes we simulcast articles from other writers who give us permission. I'll ask them, I'll say, hey, I just saw something really great that you wrote. Do you mind if I put it up there? Obviously, sometimes some of the articles are these podcasts. And so sometimes the scheduled article that I think I'm going to run, if it's something that's mine and it's not necessarily time sensitive, I'll just move it. And sometimes I'll move it 2 days in advance. Sometimes I'll move it a week in advance. And sometimes it goes into my little queue of articles that I'll get to. This one I'll put up one day when I need an article. They're all good, but some of them are less time sensitive than others. So I'm not quite sure if this ran yet, but if it did, it would be under the title Perspectives. And the working title is something along the lines of, what would you do? Would you play for the Yankees? And I'd love for all of our audience to consider this. If the article hasn't been posted yet, it's coming very soon, hopefully. It's written. I just have to schedule it in. But I made this point in the comments the other day. If you were a great baseball player, the best, and you were a free agent, and all things were equal, the salary, the years, or whatever. If the Yankees offered you the same contract as the Atlanta Braves, or the Los Angeles Dodgers, or the Baltimore Orioles, or the Philadelphia Phillies, or the St. Louis Cardinals, who haven't won very much lately, or the Houston Astros. And we got off on a tangent, people arguing about the Astros are cheaters. They tanked 100,000 years ago. That's not the point. If you were a Major League Baseball player right now, one of the best, and the Yankees and the Astros, or the Yankees and the Phillies offered you the same contract, 10 years, $300 million, which team would you go to? And why? And this is my point. I don't think if you were a great free agent, you choose the Yankees. I think the only thing that would make you choose the Yankees is, well, they were my favorite team. I love the Yankees, and I do. I would love to be a Yankee. It would be the greatest thing in the world to put on the pinstripes. Of course it would. But if you are looking out for the best aspects of your career and your life and your growth as a ball player and your chances to legitimately win, seriously, would you sign with the Yankees? Do you feel they have the greatest owner who cares the most? Do you feel they have the greatest GM who is steps ahead of everybody else and is focused exactly only on winning? Would you say Aaron Boone? No, that's a manager I want to play for because that guy, he's great. Would you say any of those things? Would you look at the Yankee coaching staff and their medical staff and go, boy, those are guys that have my best interests at heart and they're going to make me a better player? Would you look at Yankee Stadium even and say, that's a ballpark I'd love to play in? It's a poor replica of what used to be. We've talked about that. We'll talk about it again. I love Yankee Stadium because that's where the Yankees are. But I loved the old Yankee Stadium a whole lot more. It was a better place to watch a baseball game. I don't care what anybody says. And they always come up with those same excuses always. When the Yankees are in the playoffs, when there's a big moment. That place is loud. I never heard the other stadium that loud. Yes, you did. Don't give me that. That place was rocking as loud as any time the old Yankee Stadium rocked. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I'm sorry. You could say it's exciting. You could say it's full of energy. You can say it's great. I'm so glad I was there. But you cannot say that anything about the new Yankee Stadium replicates the enthusiasm, the joy, the passion, the grittiness of the old Yankee Stadium. It just doesn't. But if you were a player and you're looking at how can I win? How can I be part of a team that's going to help me further my skills? Where can I go play where I'm going to really feel like I'm wanted and like it's a great organization from top down? If you were that player, seriously, would you sign with the Yankees? I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't sign with the Yankees right now. And that's a problem because there was a time when the Yankees were considered the best at everything. And that's not where they are today. And that's why fans are frustrated and angry and saying, I'm not buying any more Yankee stuff. I'm not going to any more games. That's why they say we don't think that they care. Because it seems like they don't. Fans feel like the Yankees sold them for decades on a bill of goods. We are the team that's always going to have as our mission statement winning the World Series. Nothing else is good enough. That's what they sold us on. And that's what they've been walking back for the last at least 5-6 years, maybe longer. As they talk about luxury taxes and costs and all this other stuff, the richest team in the world that's all about winning has decided it's not the richest team in the world, even though it is, but that it's not all about winning. And that's why the fans are angry. And that's why the Yankees have to really look critically at what they're doing. It's not just that they're not winning. It's how they're approaching they're not winning. They're upsetting, discouraging, and driving away their fans. And once that happens, it's hard to get them back. It might be impossible. By the time they're ready to bring the fans back, the fans might have moved on to something else. All right, my friends, I went a little over today. Too many good things to talk about. I have like 19,000 things on my list I didn't even get to, but it's all good. I hope you have a happy Saturday. Be kind, be loving, be respectful. Have a great day. And I'll see you Monday night on the Start Spreading the News show.